Hey everyone, happy Monday.
Hey, happy Monday everybody. I am John.
And I am Renee.
And this is Mindset Live. And we are here on this fantastic Monday. Hope everybody is doing great. We have an amazing show tonight. We have Melissa Greenberg on with us tonight. She is a attorney and a yoga instructor. But what's amazing is she's not just any attorney. She is actually a cannabis attorney in the wellness field, and she's going to talk to us tonight about how she got into that field and her mindset and a bunch of other things. Before we do that, I just wanted to talk about a couple of places that we're going to be this week, Renee and I, and some places we're not going to be, but Mindset will be.
Yes.
So tomorrow night, we are going to be at Equinox on 61st Street for the Vernal Equinox event. So Equinox obviously was named because of the changing of the seasons, and so they have this annual event. It's called the Vernal Equinox event, and Mindset will be there on 61st Street.
Yes, and we will be there in person, in real life.
You and I will be there together.
Yes.
It will be fantastic. And then, of course, on Friday, Mindset will be at Equinox in San Francisco. We will not be in San Francisco, even though we'd like to be. And then Saturday, you will be at Lululemon in the morning with Lit and Lean, which is going to be amazing. And then we're going to have some amazing VIP gift bags for all of our friends at Torch with Isaac Boots.
That's on Saturday.
That's Saturday,
Yeah, that's Saturday.
at Palm Beach,
Saturday,
which is going to be amazing.
It's for a benefit for Hope for Depression.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, no, that's going to be amazing. It's really special.
Yes.
So that's important. So Melissa is ready. She sent a request to be on. Let's bring her on. This is, of course,
I know the time where we wait to see, and she pops up.
It's the pop.
Hi.
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 Hi. How are you?
I'm good. So just so I can explain to the audience a little bit how cool this is, you actually just came from a class.
I did. I'm still here. I'm in this beautiful new studio called the Oleone House in Chelsea. So just finished teaching. So I appreciate you starting a little bit later tonight. And yeah, it was a great class, 6 to 7 p.m. if anyone wants to come by next week.
Oh my God, I love that.
Wow.
That is amazing. So let me, again, tell the audience a little bit about who you are. So you work for Feldman Legal Advisors. You work for David Feldman, right? One pioneer in the cannabis business, one of the true great men in the space. And you're also a yoga instructor. How did that, I mean, that's just unto itself is pretty cool. How did that all merge together? How did that come about?
Thank you. So typical to you, I guess, in that I traveled a few different paths to get to where I am currently. So I started off my legal career as a litigator, and I worked in litigation for about 6.5, 7 years. And one of my closest friends at the firm I was at was in the middle of her teacher training at a yoga studio. And I had never really practiced much yoga. Always an athlete. I never took the yoga plunge, and I started going to her classes and fell in love not only with the movement, but what I found to be this really meaningful connection between the mind and the body and how the two work together, and just how much I needed that physical and mental movement in my life as a litigator. And I also really wanted to find a way, without even really knowing it, I wanted to find a way to connect to something spiritually that wasn't necessarily religion for me. Just something that I could find a way to, help myself work through not only work issues and work problems, but, everything that in your 20s in New York City that you're trying to navigate. And yoga really became that for me. And I continued down that path of practicing and training. I have over 800 hours now, fast forward a few years later, and have been teaching in Manhattan and Brooklyn for the last few years, also Zoom, given the world that we're in now, which is great because I can connect to people all over, not just work.
Right.
And so that actually has really been a really beautiful part of what's come out of a really sad part of the New York City yoga scene changing, but coming back slowly and steadily. And then I also shifted careers as a lawyer during the pandemic as I moved into the corporate space, and started working with David Feldman, who's been a mentor and a friend of mine for a little over 20 years. And it truly is.
I'll say it, your sister's on.
Oh, hey, Chels. Truly is incredible to be able to work for him and with him. And I work for his new law firm, Feldman Legal, which is a corporate M&A firm that focuses predominantly in the cannabis and psychedelic spaces. And my niche within that firm is in the wellness industry and bringing businesses like yours, and whether that be startups or businesses that are at some sort of inflection point, either incorporating cannabis into their space, or maybe they already have it in their space and they're looking to make some sort of move growth-wise. So that's what I'm doing on the legal side, and I'm also working for his affiliated consulting firm, doing finance, M&A, and
which is Skip Intro, right? Skip Intro Advisors.
yes, so that's with Skip Intro. So they work together. So it was a mouthful, but working.
No, it's amazing. If I can just say, when we had the privilege of speaking to David, I was so taken back because a guy with that much experience in the business still has such a vision for the future and can still see where this thing is going. It's, obviously it's impressive to see that. Speaking of which, the fact that we're all on this together, two people, 50-year-olds from the suburbs, young yoga instructor, and we're all in the cannabis space together. We really are the new face of what cannabis and wellness looks like. What are you seeing on the horizon for the wellness space and cannabis and how they're working together?
I think that's an amazing question, and also my favorite topic to talk about, as you both know, and Rene definitely knows.
Yes.
I especially East Coast cannabis is seeing already this surge in a unique and authentic way of incorporating cannabis and wellness together. It's not a novel idea. I just wrote an article on this, and I was talking about how there's nothing novel about it, but what is novel is the fact that, take New York, for example, where, cannabis was legalized last April, and that is new, right? And that's something that's now affording us a platform to legally create these spaces where the two remedies and medical components of different worlds can really come together, both from a medical perspective and from an adult use perspective. And there's just so much space for these businesses. There's nothing, I always come back to what people talk about with a pizza pie, and there's not enough slices. There's plenty of slices, and there's so much.
Oh my God.
So
I love that you brought that up, because I was thinking that myself.
Exactly.
When we got into the space, we did an activation on Saturday, and we were literally on Bleecker Street, literally with samples and talking to people. I mean, people just discussing the product, discussing with them. And there was not another CBD brand from here to Elizabeth Street. And as long as that's going to be like that, we have this open, free reign that no one is taking advantage of, except for, only because we were prior retailers. We understood the incredible value of building a community first and then thinking about the monetization second. And that's the crazy part and the beautiful part of what's happening in New York. We were able to get into a couple of amazing retail stores. We got an email this morning from one of them that they were selling low on a couple of products. It was just, for that to happen, it doesn't feel almost real. It feels as if, hey, it's happening in New York, which is incredible.
I'm not surprised. I tell Rene all the time, and people have asked me if I work for you guys, because I genuinely talk up the product all the time. And obviously I am, privy to many different companies. And I mean, I just told my students in my class tonight because they asked me what I was doing, and I told them about it. And I really think what differentiates, and you even asked me this, but I'll just say what differentiates Mindset Wellness from other companies right now, and I think that's something to keep in mind. And what differentiates you right now is, the addition of the different terpenes and, reaching right now after I take a yoga class on a Monday night for a restore, or a calm. And then, tomorrow morning reaching for a focus. And I've really found through the sample, like what I like. And I think that I was telling my sister about them. She's has an infant. So, there might be something that would be good for her to work with. And, my mom, who's a 2-time breast cancer survivor, and she's here. So, going through those emotional and physical changes and reaching for things that are, particular to what you need in that moment. And I think that it's not untapped. It's actually, I just was reading an article about this and how terpenes really are defining why, someone would reach for different cannabis products, but there's very little education around it. And you guys are really breaking ground with that. So your product and then your genuine, abilities and techniques to connect it with the wellness spaces, I think is just unbelievable.
Oh,
Thank
you.
you.
Coming from
Thank
someone
you.
of
Thank
your
you.
stature, that means a lot.
Yeah,
But I think it goes back to a little bit to you're talking about the pizza pie. One of the great things about the spaces is that I feel like we're not taking a single bit of market share from anybody. We are simply creating brand new CBD customers. These are people that have, for the most part, never experienced cannabis in any way, shape, or form. But the fact that it says happy, or it says calm, or it says rest, it's easy, it's accessible. And so they're experiencing CBD for the first time. Because we're using full spectrum, they're getting results. And they're saying, oh, wait, this was available to me this whole time. There was nothing to be worried about. And we're getting all these people that are now experiencing CBD for the first time. And I think that that's really the future. That's the excitement. It's not going to be about everybody fighting about the same cannabis customer. Right. It's going to be about expanding the market, opening it to all these people that have never been involved or never thought of cannabis as any kind of a simple, natural way to get wellness or health, just like yoga or meditation.
That's exactly it. There are so many people who have no idea about the benefits and education, and we're getting comments about that too. The education of it is so necessary, and people want to know. People are interested. People are curious. And we go out there and we explain it.
Exactly. No, and I think that what's so beautiful about the wellness spaces, and when I say wellness, because I think that word is very much thrown around, and it's a good word, but I think it's important to understand what it means, and it really encompasses, not just, how I'm feeling or like, am I happy, am I sad? It encompasses so many practices: yoga, fitness, acupuncture, Ayurvedic treatment, all these different modalities of searching for a means to find ease. Right, and to find joy, and to
choose your mindset.
Yeah, to choose your mindset. And so, I think that when you're working in a space, for example, because I'm in a yoga space right now, so like in a yoga space where you trust your teacher, you come here for a reason. And there's a lot of yoga studios and there's a lot of teachers. So there's something that somebody trusts within me that they want to come here for an hour on a Monday night. If I can share with you what I know about my yoga practice with you, I think that I also, if this was a cannabis space too, share with you what I know about the product and how that might enhance your practice. And maybe that's using it, maybe that's educating somebody in your family who might benefit from it, just like having a dialogue. And I think that that's what this wellness community really can and is creating.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. That's really right on.
100%. That is amazing. And like you said, wellness is so much bigger than just one thing. It's all about balance and bringing all of those things that help us balance everything that's going on in our lives. Because, to be our best selves, we need to find ways with everything that's going on in the world. I mean, it's a lot for our bodies to comprehend, like every day waking up to, and everything's so quick. I mean, you look at your phone and
Yeah, it's amazing. I guess I think about it in terms of, I guess, like, Batman's very popular now, but I've been a Batman fan since I was little, right? Batman has a utility belt. And I think about it in the same way. We're just trying to provide different little pockets on this utility belt. So for all these different situations, okay, so you pull out your yoga, you pull out your meditation, you pull out your affirmation, you pull out your CBD, and you have all these different things in combination and in tandem. So almost like you have the entourage effect, right? When you combine your terpenes with your cannabinoids, it's almost like wellness as a whole is a giant entourage effect, where you're combining yoga with cannabis and you're combining it with affirmation. And it's also the things that you're putting in your body and you're putting in your head, right? What does your feed look like? What does your Instagram feed look like? What are you feeding yourself? What are you putting on Netflix? What are you ingesting all day long? Because those are the things that are going to influence how you feel. And so we're all of us are trying to do the same thing, which is just to give people natural opportunities. And like many people in this space, it's because we've been there ourselves. We've looked into the abyss, or for whatever reason, we've had some kind of epiphany where we said, oh, we just don't like how we're feeling. We're looking for ways to feel better. And when you find that and then you share it, that's when it makes sense.
and that's it. When you share.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that I agree with everything that you're saying. And I think that, what Rene was talking about, just getting through our days, these last 2 years, especially, a friend of mine who's an acupuncturist, I remember she said to me, like, the first year after the pandemic, we might be moving at that point. We thought we were moving out of it. We might physically be entering this new phase, but our body's been traumatized, and you can say it hasn't, but it has. In whatever level it's affected you some way, physically and mentally and emotionally.
100%.
And whether or not you've physically moved on, you've gone back to work, you've come back to the city, you've reconnected with somebody here and there, your mind, we hold on to trauma and we store it in different places. So, what's great about yoga, plug yoga for a second, is that you actually are taking the time to find where it's landed in the body. So then you've now landed in the body. Jackie's here, she's commented. It's now landed in the body, and then you can go for that, restore gummy to, help you then, bring some awareness physically to where it's landed. And that's like a direct correlation between yoga, acupuncture, and cannabis.
Yes. Absolutely. That is unbelievable.
And that's why I love yoga so much, is because that's how I move through everything. Doing yoga actually really does. I mean, I know obviously it's crazy. It really helps me so much. And I notice when I'm not I try and practice like at least 3 times a week. And when I miss, I definitely notice the difference in myself.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't like it when she misses. It's much better when she's releasing her fist of anger and they're moving forward.
So that's like Kundalini. I got to get it out. I like it.
Even if it's like, John, 3 minutes of meditation while you're standing in the shower. When I have days where I can't take the time, or I don't have it in me to move my body, and I don't even have it in me to sit on my block and meditate, I take 2 minutes while I'm in the shower to reflect, because reflection involves awareness, and it allows you at least to just tap in. So, what is it that I need today? The happy, the restore, the focus. And I think that's the way to, take the baby steps.
Oh, absolutely. That's a very good point.
100%. I agree. 100%. Yeah. And actually the shower is a great place to meditate. So
who's inspiring you right now? Who's getting you excited? Who are you seeing that makes you excited every day?
That's a loaded question.
It is, of course it is.
I emailed you guys. What do I need to prep? Wow.
I know, and this is a surprise. This is the ambush question. This is the big attack where we sneak up on you with the question.
I feel like this is a corny response, but on a personal level, my mom, Like I said, she's just went through battling breast cancer 21 years after she survived it the first time. And I think it's something that should be talked about. I think it's something that there should be open dialogue about, but it's another topic. Anyway, so women's health. But I think that she inspires me on a daily level, to
Really?
strive for what brings me joy and really to not only find the things that will make me feel good, but really feel okay with what it is that might not make me feel great, and to really like understand that days are and weeks and months are very much cyclical, and we can only control the present moment. So I have taken that and brought that into my work life as a yoga teacher and as a lawyer in the cannabis space, because the cannabis space is evolving, like David says, in dog years. It is literally changing every single day. It's rapidly evolving, not only state by state, but city by city, and the psychedelic space too. And, you really have to ground yourself in the present moment, because there's so much happening. There's so much you can tell yourself you could be doing, you should be doing. And I am striving to be the best that I can be, and networking and meeting the people that I truly feel like I can help build something with. And that's why your business has been like so important for me to try out your product and to speak with you guys, because I really feel like, you could work with anybody to make money. And then you can also work with people that you genuinely see growth and evolution. And I think that, so long story short, my mom is inspiring me, and also businesses like yours that are really, really working to create this platform for the cannabis and the wellness spaces, and in the East Coast, all over the country, but being on the East Coast here, it's really going to be this unbelievable wellness cannabis epicenter. So I'm just very excited about that.
Us too.
I just love everything you said. Everything you just said, I absolutely love. So
What's not to love?
no, you really, I mean, about your mom, that's just beautiful. And I love your mom. I know your mom, and I love your mom, and
She feels the same.
she's an amazing woman. And everything you said was beautiful. And about the cannabis space also, like, so what is the biggest, just curious, what is it that you see that's like the biggest change, or besides the obvious?
Yeah, I think that there's three things. I think branding is the wave of the cannabis future. So it's not just like one product, it's having a brand. It's like the Nike of cannabis, right? And really evolving into this place where you have bath bombs, gummies, tinctures, a whole wellness brand for yourself. Cannabis beverages are going to be the biggest, I mean, don't quote me, but from all the experts that I've spoken to, including the one that works for my consulting firm that I'm at, all of the articles I've been reading over the last month, I feel like every day there's a new article about cannabis beverages, both from CBD and THC worlds, and also the mixture. It's going to like rock our world, because we are so socially trained to feel comfortable holding a drink.
Yes.
That's right. Are you ready for happy water and calm water?
A water, I mean, any kind of drink, right?
Yep.
You walk into a conference, you walk into a bar, you walk into a party, and we sadly, in my opinion, don't necessarily know how to operate without it. And it's not necessarily just alcohol. It's just something that we're holding. It's like, let me go grab a drink and then I'll come back and I'll talk, and it's just kind of what we know. And so it's creating this seamless entry for the beverages. And what it's also doing is offering people who either don't drink alcohol, don't want to drink alcohol every time they drink, are, health conscious because there's significantly less sugar, fat, calories, don't want hangovers. They're offering and are providing benefits to your body in ways that alcohol literally is doing the opposite. So that's the other thing. And then the third thing I was going to say, and now I have a brain fart, is beverages.
You need to focus, Gummy.
You need to focus.
I do need to focus. Come back to me on that.
Sure.
Okay,
No
yeah. No, but what you said is amazing. And I love your take on the whole, drinking, having something in your hand. And I get that. Like,
but when you look at the alcohol space, obviously, you look at the end of Prohibition, you look for all those clues, right? As the end of Prohibition comes for marijuana, you look for, what were the brands that were at the very end of Prohibition then 100 years ago? Where are they now? How do you get to be that brand now, right? And so there's all those things that are coming up, and there's so many lessons to be learned. But the big difference between alcohol and cannabis is the ritualistic nature of alcohol. The fact that we have it at every ritual, at every wedding, at every bar mitzvah, at everything we do, there's alcohol involved. And so because of that, cannabis has a little bit more to overcome in the sense of being able to be accepted in those kind of places, but certainly.
But alcohol had to get there.
Oh, no. 100%. I'm saying that we can take incredible cues from the alcohol business. And obviously, if you look forward, if you look at what's going on in the alcohol space and you were to now transplant it into the cannabis space, you would see obviously the activation of celebrity endorsements and all those kind of things that are so big in that space are going to be very big if they're not already happening in this space. And those are the kind of things that are going to be what people are going to, I think, look forward to some extent. I think Martha Stewart's success with her gummies has been, certainly exciting, at least for us to see. We were in Palm Beach a week after her, right?
I was going to say, I think, even with, I think we're at this like pivotal point in history for several reasons with the end of Prohibition here. But, wellness, and we can just use that word generally, is really just so much further and so along and so much at the forefront of people's minds than it was even 5-10 years ago. Right. And so, more people are going to workout classes, more people are caring and learning about, because the education around like gut health and the connection between the gut and the mind. And then also like what it is that alcohol does to our bodies physically and mentally, how, it leads and connects to anxiety, depression, even if it's not clinical, you drink and then the next morning you feel anxious. There is literally a scientific connection between and a chemical connection between the two. And so I think that without cannabis even trying, there's already been this movement towards non-alcoholic beverages. And having beverages that have different like elixirs that are not only going to give you some like sensation physically and mentally of like, feeling that loose kind of feeling that you might be looking for with a drink, but is actually doing something that's enhancing the like endocannabinoid system, the nervous system, and it's doing something for you that could be beneficial for you not only when you're using it, but the next day. And so that's why I think that it won't be as that difficult, and also with what's going to happen with consumption lounges in New York. New York is groundbreaking in terms of its proposed regulations for consumption lounges. So there's going to be places where people can go after work, happy hour, let's go get. And then I thought of the third thing, which you guys already know about, which is terpenes. Yeah. And I think that is the third really like biggest thing that's happening in the industry in terms of education around terpenes, research money that's going towards understanding what terpenes exist and how terpenes work together with cannabis, and understanding that it's not only indica and sativa that are affecting your body. Really, it's what terpenes are in that product, and what do I want to use so that I can focus and get my words out during a live, and go to bed, and easily, and things like that.
100%. Listen, when people look at the indica and the sativa thing, it's really the myrcene, right? The terpene level that's going to determine what that is anyway.
Yes.
For somebody like myself, I love a sativa because that they've got that limonene in there. It's got those other terpenes, and you don't have to be a scientist or a chemist to understand that these natural elements just work together in this beautiful way.
Yeah, and that's why we're bringing it into CBD, bringing the terpenes into.
Well, the terpenes was brilliant. That's why on the package it'll say happy with limonene, right? So most people don't know what limonene is, and they say, well, why does it say with that? And that's the conversation, right? That's when it opens up. That's when you start. You go, oh, well, let me explain. Yes. So in one way, you're explaining, well, this is happy, but if you want to take it one step further, how do I get to happy? Now there's the explanation, right? Yeah. And it's how deep do you want to go down the rabbit hole with us is as deep as you want to go. We can go all the way to the endocannabinoid, and we can talk about all the incredible balancing that.
I Googled every single one on that chart.
I love that. I love that.
Because I want to know. I want to know what I'm putting in my body, right? And I want to know why it's affecting me in a different way than the other one. And I want to know, like, well, why did my body respond better to the happy gummy than it did to the focus? Because maybe for you, the focus worked better. So I think it's great that I didn't even ask for it. It just comes with with the product. And I think that's really cool. And not only just cool, I think it's critical.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, I think that people like you are going to be obviously beyond critical in the future of wellness, cannabis. I mean, it's this passion, this enthusiasm. It's the future of where this industry is going. For us to see someone like you is really exciting for us because we get to.
You're inspired.
Yeah, you're inspiring us because again, you're taking the road less traveled, which is not always the easiest road traveled, but certainly the most interesting. Yes. And so I give you a tremendous amount of credit for that. And thank you tremendously for coming on and sharing with us your journey.
Yeah, and we have to come to one of your yoga classes.
Please do. I would love that. And now that I've done my first Instagram Live, maybe I'll feel more comfortable doing a yoga live.
Yes,
yeah,
please,
you're great.
Please.
Yes, and you can absolutely, and we do Wellness Wednesdays. You're more than welcome to do a Wellness Wednesday class for.
Yeah, that's what she's talking about. Doing that. We've been talking about this.
Nobody clues me into anything.
I didn't clue him in.
It wasn't in the Slack.
I think that, and my sample pack arrived today, so I'm very excited.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So obviously, we'll get you all the products you need. I mean. Whatever you need.
And I was going to say, I just think that what you've created is really, I think because you've entered this space now, and even before, I mean, it's not like you just started, but when you entered, I think that because you were able to tap into something before it exploded, you could feel like your genuine connection to what you're creating through your involvement with these yoga, fitness businesses, these teachers, these clothing brands. You have this natural connection with the people that you're working with, and I think that that's what's so cool because I think without even I know you tried, and I know this is intentional because you both are exceptional business people to begin with outside of this industry, but I think that without even trying, perhaps you've already created a brand for yourself, and that's what's so cool, I think, about Mindset Wellness.
Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate that because honestly, that was it was very intentional. The whole idea was to create a brand first and foremost, and the rest of it would fall into place. The same way I said, we'll figure out how to monetize it, build something authentic, build something that works, build something real, and then the rest of it will follow. You know, and why? Because we're going to bring some more people on board like you who are going to help us, right? We've done what we can do, and now it's time to bring other people to help us. And to that, we want to say thank you. If people
I think
want,
she's swirling. Wait, are you
She's
there?
swirling?
Are you back?
I'm here.
swirling,
Okay.
some swirling on
I
it.
thought I saw swirling.
Melissa, if somebody wants to take your class, where are you teaching? How do they get in touch with you? Now she's swirling.
No, I see the swirling.
Now it's a swirl. Now we're in swirl territory.
Are we swirling?
We may be swirling to her, and she's swirling to us. That's the incredible beauty of the swirl.
Okay, well, definitely follow Melissa on
Follow
Instagram.
Melissa on all the social media platforms that she is on. Certainly, Melissa Lee.
Yes, we loved having you, Melissa. I wish you could hear us.
I wish that your
I hope-
Wi-Fi.
I don't even know. Oh,
Well,
she's out.
She's
All
gone.
right.
She left. She's
Left.
done. She
Oh, she's
reoffended.
back.
She's
She's
back.
back.
She's back. We were canceled. Now we're uncanceled.
okay.
She's coming. Here we go. And it's like deja vu all over again. Here we go.
I'm back.
Melissa, it's so nice to see you. How is everything?
Wait, what did Amanda say? You guys are there. Melissa froze.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you.
It's
No, we
Amanda.
didn't know who froze. So as we were saying such lovely things about you. I'm sorry you didn't hear them. But you can definitely listen. No, we were saying if somebody wants to take your class, how do they get in touch with you? Where are you teaching?
Oh,
All those great things.
yeah. So hi, Kimby. So I am teaching on Monday nights at 6 p.m. at the Oleone House, which is in Chelsea on West 22nd Street. I am guest teaching at Practice, which is a new studio in Red Hook. It is another beautiful space. I will be there on Wednesday night this week at 6 p.m. And yeah, so follow along on my Instagram. I always post when and where I will be teaching, and I would love to see some new faces.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely.
Yes.
On class.
We'll definitely coming. You're
Absolutely.
coming. You're
Absolutely,
gonna
yes. And as we mentioned, we'll be at Equinox tomorrow night. If you can come by, we'd love to see
Yeah,
you.
come by.
Yeah.
Visit, hang out with us. We'll be on 61st Street. That goes for everybody listening. And that's it. Make sure you go to mindsetwellness.com and choose your mindset.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yeah. What's your favorite mindset, Melissa? Tell everyone what your favorite mindset.
Hi. I'm torn between happy and restore.
Okay.
Okay. It's a champagne problem.
Exactly. So much for having me.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Mwah.
All right. Merger and acquisition me. I'll
All right.
see you soon.
Namaste.
Okay. Bye.
Namaste.